When that patient came into the office clutching their chest this morning, it was a scary situation. When the adult code was called, I saw you walk into another room and close the door. Were you too scared to assist in the code and went to hide, or were you working up another patient? What was the problem?
I have never been in a code blue situation before. I was too scared to be an active participant in the code.
I understand. When we have another adult code, I will let you shadow me so you can know exactly what takes place and what everyone's role is.
Okay, thank you for being so understanding.
Blood pressure today and it was really elevated. I checked it again and it was still high. I even had another nurse check it, and at that point we ran and got the doctor. We made the patient lie on a stretcher and immediately started an IV. I just knew the patient was going to be sent to the ED. I was afraid he was having a stroke.
That was great. I am glad you were able to think quickly and get the patient stabilized.
I am too. We had the patient stabilized and ready for transport in 15 minutes.
You seem really tense. Are you okay?
I am. I'm just a little bit nervous. It happened so fast. I hope he's all right.
I know that must have been a terrifying experience.
It really was. I've only heard about blood pressures being that high. I've never really personally taken one.
What made you start the IV?
I was expecting Dr. Doe to write orders and give the patient labetalol or hydralazine IV push. Plus, I knew he would need a line for transport.
Go on. What happened next?
After we finished giving labetalol IV, the transport team made it to the office. We gave a report and he was taken to the hospital. Split up the assignments today. I'm always working with the provider who has the most patients. Sometimes I just want to take a break.
That is who you were assigned to. You know his preferences, and he requests that you are his nurse. Your assignment will not change.
You know what?
You know what? That's true. I'll change the assignment, and you and Lisa can switch providers 2 days a week. Even though Dr. Jane does request you as her nurse, we will have to let her know that you need a break from the heavy workload. I don't know why we even let it get to this point. It doesn't make sense for you to have the heavier patient load every day while Kathy gets to sit back and relax. I understand how you must feel. I will speak with Dr. Jane and let her know how the schedule is going to be altered. I do want you to understand that you were hired to be her nurse, but we don't want you to get burned out either. She will just have to get accustomed to working with another nurse.
I received a complaint about you today from a patient. The patient said you were rude to her when you were doing her insulin teaching. She said you kept rolling your eyes and sighing when she couldn't use the syringe properly. I need you to explain to me what happened today.
What were her exact words? Did she really say that I was sighing and rolling my eyes? You know I would never do that in front of a patient no matter how frustrated I am. Let me see if I heard you correctly. A patient complained about me today saying I was being rude and impatient. What's going to happen now that I have received a complaint from the patient? Do I get reprimanded? Would you like for me to call the patient and apologize?
I want to change my hours back to the way they were. With the new hours, I'm having difficulties getting my son to daycare and making it work on time.
Let's discuss the hours and work schedule with the other nurses and see what we can come up with.
When can we set up a meeting to discuss it?
Let me look at my calendar and I will see when we have some available time. Is it an emergency?
Well, I have a problem being the first nurse here in the morning. I'm the only one in the office with children, and even though I know everyone have their own issues, it's becoming harder for me to get to work and daycare on time. The daycare doesn't open up until 6:30, and I'm expected to be here at 6:45.
I understand what you're saying.
Is this request asking for too much?
I understand what you're going through. I remember having to juggle getting my kids to and from school. However, we discussed the change in hours, and it is a company-wide directive. They are attempting to stagger RNs so we can have complete coverage on the floor.
I need to change my work hours so I'm able to get my son to daycare and make it to work on time.
I have seen the timesheet. I see the new hours have been a struggle for you.
We can ask the other two RNs if they don't mind changing their hours since they don't have little children.
You can try and find someone to take your son to daycare for you.
It would be impossible for me to have someone take him to daycare every morning. Plus, that would cost me a lot of money to pay someone to take him for me.
I would have to ask the other nurses about how they feel about changing their schedules. It is based on seniority, and it is up to them to agree on the change.
What did the other nurses decide?
I spoke with the other two nurses, and they decided to switch their schedules. You can discuss with them how the new schedules will be arranged and then put it in writing.